Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Ba'asham, Achak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who were pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh. And salutations to all you sincere Akim out there that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, so no, this is your brother Abba one, and I'm back with another video. What we have here is something that has been going on for the past few days. Okay, you have prophecy being fulfilled. Okay, it arrives little by little, and now you see what the elders and the apostles, the brothers of Great Muslim have been warning people of ever since this thing really got big. We've been talking about it, saying that once they have the solution, once they have the stab ready, that pretty soon it's going to start being by being voluntary. Then they're going to make it mandatory. They're going to set mandates in the law to make sure that nobody can do nothing without getting that stab. Because this is just a dress rehearsal to the real deal, to the main thing that Israel is actually interested in pushing, which is that MOTB. It's all roads lead to that chip. All roads are moving towards that chip, and this is what you're seeing with this stab. Okay, and let me just make it very, very clear for the algorithm. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that okay, this stab is the MOTB or has anything to do with it, but rather I'm just saying that it uses the same delivery system, okay, and it is basically is the way of it is Esau's way of presenting that gradualism for our people, so that they become desensitized to the idea of mandatory mandatory decrees concerning what you put in your body. All right, so you have these articles right here going into the protests that are going on in Europe right now because of these mandates over the stab, travel restrictions over the stab. Where you had it to before that if you went to travel, you have to you have to be quarantined and tested. But now they want you to have those passports that you require that prove that you've gotten that you've gotten stabbed up and all that just in order to travel. And this is all what we've been telling our people about. Pretty soon you can't go into stores without the stab. You can't do anything without a stab. You can just stay in your house. You can't even buy yourself. Can't go to work. And that's what he is preparing to do at this time right now. Okay, this is what we have on the earth right now, and this is all on the agenda. We already know this is how it works, and it's already been written. This is how this was going to happen, and that's why you had men, okay, who on the earth, who are the only people on the earth that were talking about these things, that were telling you that this time was coming in which something like this would happen. And this is the headline right here. Protests erupt after countries mandate the infection passports, and France is latest to propose travel restrictions. Okay, and now protests are going on all over Europe because of this situation right here, and this is all part of the plans of the elites. And don't think that it isn't coming to Babylon, all right, because they're already doing door to door. Basically spreading these shots door to door. They're already doing that in Babylon. Okay, and all these other countries as well, because it's coming slowly but surely. Soon it will be all over soon it will be all over the earth, and we'll see about that. Okay, we'll see whether Esau eases these things up and whether he's just using it to test, people's research, people how people would react to situations like this. But we already know what this is, man. This is Revelation 12, verse 12 coming to pass. The devil coming down with great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So I want to get a little bit of this article, and it reads: The French Parliament voted Monday to require passports to participate in public life. The policy is even stricter for healthcare workers. France joins a growing list of countries to pass the infection passport legislation and to receive pushback from protesters. The bill mandates that a health pass is necessary to enter restaurants, planes, trains, and other public venues. French residents must either provide proof of a stab or proof of a negative test results or proof of recently recovering from the infection. The blanket mandate initially applies to all adults but will apply to everyone 12 years and older beginning September. And you see that's how it starts up until up until negative test results are no longer acceptable. And then proof of recovery from the infection are no longer acceptable, and the only thing that you can use is that stab. This is how it begins. This is that gradualism that take that slowly, removing these different conditions that they are putting upon the people. And this is how Esau impresses, okay, the new world order, the great reset upon you people out here. They're slowly bringing it in, because now people will be saying that, oh well, at least if you still don't need to, well, at least you still don't need to, they are still not pushing it that heavily. But it's all part of what we are talking about, gradualism. Okay, it comes in little by little. That's how he likes to do his thing. Slowly, basically slowly putting that pressure on you, slowly, raising up the heat on you, and before you notice it, you're already cooked. All right, it's like you're already cooked, just like the analogy of the frog in the pot. You put a frog in boiling water, it instantly jumps out of it, but you slowly, boil the frog inside the water, and before it even realizes the water is boiling, it's already been cooked. And this is the warning that is going out all over the earth, because we know what the scripture says, that we are not ignorant. All right, all Satan's devices. Let me get that. And here it is, 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11, and it reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we already know how this is going to happen. And the scriptures has already given us the complete detail and the complete breakdown of how he will set up his NW, how he will set up his great reset, with little pushes like this, okay, with little bits of you know with slow, slow mandates like this, slowly passing this kind of bills into law, because it's already in, because Bray has already brought this out before, and even now I've talked about it, that it's already in law that they can, that the government is perfectly capable to mandate these kind of what I'm looking for. So you're basically to mandate these kind of stabs to the people, okay, if they see it fit to do so. And that's what you are seeing happening upon the earth right now. That's what you are seeing happening in all these different nations. And this is how it starts. It starts with a few nations, and then suddenly everybody starts adopting it. And I believe that it has already started in Babylon, up in New York, that these mandates have already gone through. And this is all part of his wrath, man. So let me get that. Let me start from Revelation, the 12th chapter, the 12th verse. Revelation 12, verse 12, and it reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And this is how it starts. First, the government is just mandating it. They're not really doing anything until the boots start touching the ground. The female troops start going out. The concentration camps start getting filled up with the naysayers and the ones that are not interested in, keeping following this mandate. And that's how it begins. Like, yeah, let me get that again. So I can get that again. Basically, as I was saying, that's how it begins. Okay, until they start filling up these female camps, because the concentration camps are already ready. They start demonizing, and which of course is already happening, and they start demonizing the ones that are against this mandate. It's all, you can already all see it soon coming to pass. All right, so this is it right here, the word for wrath, and its time was
372. Thumas. Thumas.
so like my audio wasn't loud, so let me get that again.
Strong's G 2372. Thumas. Thumas.
Strong G 220, no, it's like a 2372. Sumas. Okay, that's how they pronounce it. So anyway, passion, angry, heat, anger, forthwith, boiling up and soon subsiding again. Glow, ardor, the wine of passion, inflaming wine, which either drives the drinker mad or kills him with its strength. That's going into what Esau's wrath, his anger that he's going to use, come down with because he wants this new world order pushed, because he's, rushing to get his order, because he's rushing to get his, his plans, his agenda, okay, his enterprise. He's rushing to make it and crown it a success because he knows that the Most High is already coming. The Most High is already getting ready to take out his kingdom. That's why you see the chariots in the sky. That's why you see, so many signs and wonders. The men of the Lord, they are, on the highways and byways pushing this word, and that is who Esau is targeting with all of his agendas right now. Going into Second Esdras, the 16th chapter, the insurrection against those that fear the Most High, because that time is coming as well. Because this is all leading up to Jacob's trouble, the mark of the beast. All right, like I said before, that is what this is all leading up to. And once again, all right, I am not saying that this stab has anything to do with the MOTB, but rather, that it is what leading up to it, because it will be using the same method, the same delivery system. Okay, and even the same method of distribution, where it's first and foremost, it's all, you know, um, voluntary. You can have to take it if you want, and then they slowly start to, they slowly start to declare mandates for it. Oh, you can't go out, you can't go to restaurants, you can't walk, you can't do this without this stuff. That's what Esau is pulling right now. So I want to get this next precept. All right, so okay, this next precept in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. All right, so this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon 2, verse 24, and it reads, "Nevertheless, through the envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold to of his side do find it." And the reason why I put this out is, why is he doing all these things? Because my family members, they recently started seeing, all the news concerning the mandates, and they were now, they were wondering that question themselves: why are men so evil? Because they don't understand the dynamic between Jacob and Esau, and they don't understand who is ruling upon the earth right now. You try to explain it to them, and they, they're not trying to get it. But anyway, why is this happening? Because of Esau's envy, because he wants to, first and foremost, because of he lost his birthright. What the scripture says, man, that Esau became, and let me get that picture, that's the book of Hebrews. Let me bring it out. All right. Hebrews 12, verse 17, and it reads, "For ye know how that afterward," so okay, Hebrews 12, verse 16, "lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears." And that's the reason why he is doing all these things right now, because of that envying our people, the Hebrew Israelites, for the Most High choosing them and giving them the birthright. That birthright being what? Those blessings, being the chosen people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai over him. All right. Still has that hatred in his heart, that jealousy. Even all the way from the times of Adam, Cain and Abel. When Abel's sacrifice was more pleasurable to the Most High, was more worthy than Cain's own sacrifice, and he still has that envy in his heart, and that is why he's pushing all this wickedness on the earth to try to separate you people from your heritage, because he believes that if he can get every single Israelite to fall into his new world agenda, to fall into his system, he can basically get that birthright back for himself. And also because of the pride of Esau Edom, okay? What the scripture says, and that we have seen the pride of Idumea, the pride of Esau, the pride to set himself up as the Most High. That's Second Thessalonians, the third chapter. They don't know that he is looking to make himself like the Most High. How does it go? That I will be like unto the Most High. I will get myself up to heaven, and I will rule over the side of the north. That's Isaiah, the 14th chapter, roughly paraphrasing. So I have to get it. Sacrifice. I don't think I read this properly. Let me bring it out. So this is right here, Isaiah 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. And this is going, and this is actually two parts, okay? Because first and foremost, this is going into Esau. No, talking about getting himself into that rulership position and the stars of the Most High. Which of course you should already know this. The stars of the Most High are the Hebrew Israelites, okay? Our people used to call Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau wants to exalt himself above you. In other words, he wants to, be a greater people than us, be a greater people than the Israelites, which of course is impossible. So continuing, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And this is he wanting to be a ruler over all the people on the earth. He wants to be like unto the Most High, have that rulership of the Most High, make himself a God on the left hand side. And that is what this whole thing is about. The MOTB, the stab, the infection, the plagues, the calamity, the rulership of the elites over the earth, the way that he weakened all the nations and he laid perpetual strokes on them, okay? The way that he had put all kinds of destruction upon the whole earth. It is all for the sake of being a God on the left hand side, of ruling over the whole earth in wickedness. All right, this is what he is trying to accomplish. That's why he's doing all the things that he's doing, because he's trying to set himself up as a ruler on the left hand side, but he cannot, because the Most High is against him, because the elect is against him. So now, the MOTB, all the God's trouble is going to the collapse and the Great Reset is all being done in order to try and in order to try and destroy the elect, in order to try and to turn them away from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But we know what the scripture says, man, that if it were possible, he would even deceive the very elect, but they are not deceived. All right, because the elect, all right, Lord willing, were a part of that number. They were chosen from the foundation of the earth, and He can't take them away from the Most High's hand. He does not have that power. So yeah, let me end this right there. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Achak Wadash. And Wa Abad Babal, Lord willing, we endure up until the end, because that prayer has been going through my mind a lot lately with all the things that are coming down the pipe. It's starting to happen. These prophecies are starting to come to pass. And it's about that time when we start praying that the Most High puts that spirit on us to endure whatever might come our way, man, because I'm already seeing all the hell that's about to break loose on the earth. I'm not really, and Lord willing, we endure until the end. So yeah, Shalom. I'm not going to a defined lesson. Shalom.